Rangung Dorje namshi to shi ne jepik jonten chayores.
So first of all, I would like to wish everyone good evening. And this evening we will be discussing the text, The Distinguishing Consciousness from Wisdom by Karmapa Rangung Dorje.
首先呢，在这里跟大家说晚安。然后在今天的晚上我们会教授的是第三世大宝法王让种多解所著的《辨识智论》。
大阶段是本来干嘛把rangung dorje呢？那他都对虚伪呢？呢干嘛把rangung dorje阶段本来干嘛把工程给本来呢？这我这说没啥吧？那把蒙古就差有的是，看着就差有的是吧？那本来开把蒙古这个干嘛把rangung dorje的？呢干嘛把本来工程你罢了？我这说这种用的蒙古讲说那么就用着了。呢干嘛把rangung dorje的？干嘛把工程是罢了我这吧？这种用开始个本来干嘛把rangung dorje的？用干嘛把工程本来一罢了？用我这说那把没啥吧有的是。
So to begin by speaking a bit about the life of of Karmapa Rangjung Dorje, there are actually different ways of explaining which of the Karmapas he is. There are many masters who say that he was the second Karmapa. There are also many masters, and this is the most famous explanation, saying that he is the third Karmapa. And there are even some masters who say that he is the fourth Karmapa. So there are different ways of explaining which of the Karmapas he is.
那首先呢，我们先介绍一下第三世的 大宝法王，或者是说让种多解。那让种多解呢关于他是哪一世的大宝法王有很多不同的说法。那有的上师呢是说他是第2世的大宝法王，有的说是第3世的，那甚至呢有的说他是第4世的法王。不过可以说是最有权威的就是他是第3世的大宝法王。
他本来Khenpo Mabu je ke ne Karmapa Rangjung Dorje te kunchen nimba ne ngonzi ne chepi pena jungsen rawo kare pena tengi yore shuba na tata nga so ta namju pena yongran rawo pula je churgu ke ne sor je na menda churgu lu sor de thoma de pena kaju pala chonge yore es tendre ndu tata ta Karmapa ne Karmapa xie ne ko nyangye lende bi kapsu mese trugu ke takaso ti kapsu pena ngonzi ke luksor de shira ane yosamare tendre ne ko nyangye lende ne tata pena yor tata tero ta moyor kongthong laudo ene moyor kongthong moyor mompa ke yor koji ro tata rasa ke te lobso sho no wensa Anterapena yabda tomba chu bardo yom chomo yon rees ya terpena pu chung chung che rees konya. Ne pu chung chung lo sumbi kaps ne koronke pu koronke ne ngaro Karmapa yinda as. Tende je ne koronke pu te lab ne koronke ngar pena Karmapa hi kaps zenam de so yon koronke pena mombo je ne koronke sumba rees pu te ne ko laung rees. Ani tsisu tine pena trupta orje pan jarne tine ngar Karmapa hikin kono ke pena chile teta kono teta pugute ke trenjo de so ne ko shung de ne karma teta trupta orje pa go ta chono Karmapa pena Rangjung Dorje sen sen so ne tine Karmapa pena yonsi ngonzi chongya te chen ne Karmapa konre ni bal ngonzi ne pena Khenpo Mabu sen zeba te junsi tel ten so nonge yores.
Now, the reason why many scholars say that that Rangjung Dorje is the second Karmapa is because the tradition of tulkus, of reincarnated lamas, actually began first in the Kagyu tradition. So when Karmapakshi, the previous Karmapa, passed away, at that time there was not any real tradition of identifying a reincarnation, a tulku. But when Karmapakshi passed away, he said that he would be reborn in a location called Mangyu, and that his name this would be the name of his father, this would be the name of his mother. And so the child was born, and when he was 3 years old, he said, "I'm the Karmapa." He announced that he was the Karmapa, and then he began describing the various different things that Karmapakshi had done in his lifetime. Then later he met the great master Urgyenpa, and he described the things the activity of Karmapakshi, and described his memories of these actions. And then Urgyenpa said, "Oh, you really are the third you really are the Karmapa," and he named him Rangung Dorje. And so in that way he is known as the second Karmapa. And so that is the reason why he is often called the second Karmapa.
那之所以有一些学者称他为第2世的法王，那是因为在可以说是这个主古的转世传承是从噶举派开始的，而在当这个法王Karmapakshi 他往生的时候呢，当时并没有这个如何找寻下一世转世的这样的一个方法跟传承。那但是呢，在他往生的时候，他就说出了我会转世到哪一个地方，然后呢，我的爸爸妈妈是怎么样的一个名字，而这个转生的地方呢，它叫做Mangyu，那然后呢，真的就在那个地方呢，他这样的爸爸妈妈生出了一个小孩， 然后呢，在他3岁的时候，他就自己说我就是噶玛巴的转世。然后呢，还说出了很多在过去生当中这个噶玛巴西所做的这些生平的事迹。然后后来呢，这一位的这样的小孩呢，也见到了这个乌坚巴这个尊者，然后把他过去生的这个记忆呢讲出来。然后乌坚巴听到之后呢，他就说：“哦，你真的就是大宝法王的转世。”然后呢，就给予了他这个Rangung Dorje的这样的一个称号那因为这样呢，所以呢，他也称为是第2世的法王。
这就大Karmapa Rangjung Dorje空的他冲龙着记录本的激动你们家去加入。对话了，他有那没有共同事业的人冲，那空边的这个点就边没是一个毛报警，自己主动还用个价钱报警，冲有类似。第三的嘛是被把那用加入搞死的，加那个那蓝球钱那边的空嘛古巴的事，他蓝球钱他那一边的收不个有的是下价。这呢，公路公安中肉怎么样呢？呢，他管养人的，这是基本意思。
So Rangjung Dorje was born in the year 1284 in Mangyu, and during his life he was known as a great scholar. He wrote many different treatises. He also figured in history in that he went to China, and he was the guru for the 9th of the Mongol emperors. He also went to Mongolia, and he lived until the age of 56.
那让种多杰呢，他是于公元1284年在蒙古的这一个地方呢出生的。那他在可以说是在世的时候呢，他是一位大学者，然后呢有很多佛学的这个论著然后呢在历史上面他也是曾经去过中国，然后呢他也是去到这个蒙古，而且是当时第9位的这个蒙古皇帝的上师，而他呢是活到56岁。
他搞什么说可以呢？他用的你呢空跟在把机，特别的用的你可能听到的那些都现在把是，他对了。但那些都现在把就知道那些可能来样说那些初级动。大家一边的sem jong abji sakji deda tamje ta namshe choji to ene kono ke pena kazo ne ta pena dese namje she choji to chol do ene kazo pena sungde ke chani ta nyamsul ene nabya he so je to daga no yi she ke pena namja she yonde kapsu ta pena nga she nga daga no ji pena ta lam nga no ne pena lamda da tamji shek cha shin ro kana thong lam do kom lam lob lam se ya de gen nab ya cha ne pe na shek nab ya de so sung ge res.
Now this text that we are discussing now, the distinguishing consciousness from wisdom, is about distinguishing what is consciousness from what is wisdom. And so it describes what consciousness is, and in describing this it talks about the 8 different consciousnesses. Now, the 8 consciousnesses, there are also the 51 mental factors that are all included in the 8 different consciousnesses. And so there are different ways of describing how these 51 mental factors are associated with the 8 different consciousnesses. And it also gives a presentation of wisdom. So wisdom, in generally, it describes this in terms of the 5 wisdoms. Now, the 5 wisdoms are associated with the 5 paths. So it describes the paths of seeing, meditation, and no more learning. And so this is described during the presentation on wisdom.
那在我们今天讲授的这个文本呢，它是辨识智论。那在 这里说的辨识字的意思呢，就是辨别这个意识辨别识跟智之间的这个分别。那在当中呢，它首先讲到的是八识，而在八识当中呢，它包含了51种心所有法，或者是说心所。然后呢，在有关于这51种心所它怎么样的可以说包含在八识当中呢，有很多不同的说法。那在第二个部分呢，也是讲到了这个智也就是佛智。那一般的来说，这个智呢，我们讲到的是这个五方佛的这样的一个智慧。然后在当中就讲到了在修行次第当中的见道、修道跟无修道当中的这个修行。
对，他们就弄说南西了点呢，那可以去，我了那这他中国有的是，他那就变得西了点呢，又变得用得去的他中国有的是，他南就变得说用着老差的有是。他变得出干的钱呢，这了点这种事啊，这个那么门上吧，那开始有啥嘞？变得年龄了点呢，那重要个变得。大家弄一边的天气是这点的重要，因为边的电竞这块点的重要，因为边的内部点的重要，因为切球点的边重要，没着不没切有的是。
他们的切球，
切球，
切球，
切球的重要没着不。
Now, what's generally said is that it is because of consciousness that we have all the phenomena of samsara. It is because of wisdom that we have all the phenomena of nirvana. And so basically there are different ways that we can describe how phenomena occur. We can talk about phenomena arising from their substantial causes. We can talk about them arising, how they arise from their cooperating conditions, how they arise from interdependence, how they arise from the capacity, and how they arise from different features. And so there are different ways that we can discuss how phenomena arise. So the five are substantial cause, cooperating conditions, interdependence, capacity, their features. So first, the substantial cause, cooperating conditions, interdependence. Yeah, various conditions. Yeah, conditions. You can just say conditions. It's different. Just to say conditions is fine. Okay.
那一般来说呢，当我们讲到这个识的时候呢，我们会说成是因为这个意识呢，跟生出的是轮回，而智慧呢带来的是涅槃。那关于这个万法的现象是如何生成的，那有很多的说法。那有的说呢是因为因缘所产生的这些法跟现象，那还有呢各种的因缘的这样的一个说法。
就是但南西了点的边呢，可以去中度东方可以去些，看着中文这个书本呢边呢，新东西的都能去甚至年是，但可以去了，新东西的，都能去甚至，但边呢新东西的些，看着中文这个书本那个说的。前日把毛家姐呢，他的亲戚的三公过来可能，三公过来，他我这个有了，但那用啊，我本身呢用本来呢，他的主编了我这个了也亲戚的，他那一本东考弄了用东北人我这个多亲戚的，对不？但农居什么节就我说他的那看上见着啊，那着是着。대다 탐치 파기게 남시게 네발 때는 벤 종고 열었다. 그 주지질 때는 종고 열었다.
So when we say that all samsaric phenomena arise because of consciousness, well, what do we mean by that? Well, first of all, we need to understand what we mean by samsaric phenomena, and generally this means the environment of the world and all of the sentient beings who inhabit it. So, when we talk about the world, then most scientists would describe this as the globe of the earth. In the Buddhist, in the Abhidharma scriptures, it's described as being a square. In the Kala Chakra, it's described as being round. But basically what we mean are all of the phenomena of the 3 realms and 6 classes of samsara. And the reason that they arise is that they come out of the capacity or the power of consciousness.
那我们说这个轮回的现象是因为识而生的，那这样的意思是什么呢？那首先我们说到这个轮回的现象一般所指的是我们周遭的这个环境，还有在当中所住的这个众生。那这个环境呢，在一般的这个学者来说呢，就是我们所住的这个世界或者是地球。那而在佛教的这个阿毗多安摩当中所讲到的这个世界呢，它是方形的。然后在十轮金刚密续当中所讲到的世界是圆形的。那但是呢，总之不管是怎么样这里我们说的这个轮回的现象或者是当中的世界呢，所指的是十方三世的这样的一个世界。那这个世界呢，是因为识的力量所升起的。
他本来写了点呢，当然是用的这个意思，是吧？这种他本用的是呀，他看着就问这个是，这个是东不好好过透过了吧？娘的是，娘的的了本那本你有是的，我说咱们就本来塔巴全部是呀你，塔巴是呀的看着问这个是的，你本来连用跟苦于你是你，到达接完连子跟你就用是本来。帮我查这个处这个了，本来塔巴是，但本来塔巴全部是都看到我这个是呢，你连用跟考虑你叫我连这个你就用做吧，帮我怎么是吧？여기呢就他们之前吧本来 ，OK， 一些就了本来叫我了本来改这这个本来实际是吧？你用做吧，帮我给你去啊一些这了呢。用的是个有意思，你得用本来一些给你女伴点的做中国有意思。
Now we also say that nirvana arises out of wisdom, and so when we say that nirvana comes out of wisdom, well, we have to know what do we mean by nirvana. There are actually 2 different ways to describe nirvana. We can talk about it as being liberation and as great liberation. So liberation means that when we have eliminated all of the karma and afflictions that are the causes that make us take birth in samsara, that is liberation. I'll repeat that. When we have eliminated all of the karma and afflictions that are the causes that make us take birth in samsara, that is liberation. So what is great liberation? Well, great liberation is when we have eliminated not only the karma and afflictions that cause us to take birth in samsara, but we have also eliminated all of the cognitive obscurations that prevent us from developing the wisdom of omniscience in our beings. So that is not only we also have to eliminate all of the cognitive obscurations that prevent us from that prevent us from attaining the or developing the wisdom, omniscient wisdom in our being. So that is great liberation. And so these liberation and great liberation both happen because of wisdom. And so that is why we say that that nirvana arises because of wisdom.
那我们说涅槃是从智慧所生。那在这里所讲到的涅槃，它是什么的意思呢？那当讲到涅槃的时候，可以分成有2种的涅槃。那一种呢是解脱，另外一种呢是大解脱。那讲到我们说的这个解脱，它代表的是什么呢？所代表的就是我们清除了一切的业与烦恼，而这个业与烦恼呢，可以说就是我们轮回的力量。那当这些轮回的力量，也就是我们说的这个因果业障跟烦恼都净除的时候，就是得到的就是解脱。而大解脱是在解脱的之上，这个所知障得到这个完全的这个净除，然后证得本具的这种智慧，这种遍知的佛智。那当达到这样的证悟的时候呢，就是大解脱。那但是呢，不管是但是呢，这里我们讲到的大解脱，它就是从智慧当中升起的。那因此呢，我们也称这个涅槃是由智慧所生。那在之前上一段的时候呢Khenpo讲到的这个世界呢是应该是十方三界而不是十方三世的这样的一个世界。
对就大本的南西对本来是你看着进来呢切巴切过来是吧呢？这东西是咱们就用着了本来工作点吧是呀，这个东南点吧是呀，那么你了。大本的工作点吧是对你切一个本来做着这日子，东大家弄一本那个说的呢。看什么这边能做啊？大家弄一边的大没大，给你出用手把边的工作点把恰有了。我这大半是当有的健康，给边那个到西巴这，这那边的那边西巴是到这家个有的是。
And so when we talk about consciousness and wisdom, well, what is the distinction between the two of them? Well, as is as is well known, we talk about there being two truths. There is relative truth and ultimate truth. Relative truth are all of the appearances of samsara. These include the external form, sound, scent, taste, and touch, as well as all of the beings in the 3 realms of samsara, as well as all phenomena, whether they are permanent or impermanent. All of these are relative truth. And so the cognitions that take these as their object is what we call consciousness. Cognition of the mind, the cognition.
那当我们讲到这个识跟字的时候，它们之间的差别是什么呢？那当我们在讨论这个的时候，我们要讲到的是二谛。那二谛呢，它包括世俗谛还有圣义谛。而在世俗谛当中所提到的是轮回当中的显象、色、声、香、味、触等，以及在轮回当中的所有的众生跟事物，不管是有常无常的这一切的事物的显象。那我们的心把这些对境把 把我们的心把它当成这个对境而升起的这种识，我们就称它是在这里讲到的识。
对的，大本来的一些事要等啊，这情况这个上做本来的有，那多当点吧，本来当我上的，家这个本千把事了，我这个有的是。当时多当点把事，看着情况这个是吧，南极本来大点的，那有个chan性了，多当点把事的，有看着情况跟这个是的，本来大的没被打哇，那多年个打哇。다가 너기 망가서 배나 고데를 나바니여로 네 배나 직 다다 직 바에 티 배나 팍비 줄래요 네 레뇨 그 친와 용스 배나 차르게 따자 직 대자 마시 배나 차고 뇨모 비트바도 네 토바 시지 드바 용스 차비 배나 네 차르게 시지 배나 손지 팍비 투줄래요 네 고데 대다 배나 온삼도 네 직비 배나 챵바제라 네 시스게 요레스.
So then what do we mean by wisdom? Well, wisdom, when we talk about it, is it takes as its object what it knows. It takes the ultimate truth. So it is the knowing that can directly see the ultimate truth. So what is ultimate truth? Well, ultimate truth is what we can call the view of selflessness, the view of emptiness. It is also cessation. And with cessation, we can talk about there being two types of the truth of cessation. There is the cessation of all of the bonds of karma and afflictions. And then in addition to that, there is the cessation that is the cessation of all of the cognitive obscurations and all the afflictive and cognitive obscurations that is included within the wisdom of Buddhahood. And so the mind that can see that directly is wisdom.
那智慧又是什么呢？那在这里讲到的这个对境，当这种所见到的对境可以直接的从当中看到这个真谛，也就是我们说的这种圣义谛，那这就是智慧。那在这里讲到的这种真谛或者是真理，它所代表的是什么呢？这个真谛呢，所代表的也就是无我空性，还有四圣谛当中的这个灭谛。那在灭谛当中，它可以分成两种。那一种呢是因果之间的这种关联，它的这种寂灭。那第二种呢是我们说的这种认知上面的障碍，或者是说所知障得到完全的这种净除。那总之呢，这一切呢，就是包含在佛果当中的这种智慧，它就是直接的可以看到实相这种真谛的实相。
听见，但用的那个做决战之后，开始那个有的习惯了，南些事呀，就那些事呀，那么你那个有的是，但南些事用的做本来帮助个恰，对那个有的，本来一些是用的搞做那念不个恰的那个有的是，但你搞的没搞做帮啊，说当然本来一些那个南些事被搞了，但用可能那了本来一些的来那南中没啥帮啊，像些个都是做。다가를 주행이시 네 멜론이시 네 냠니시 소도시 자럽이시 남방가 시에요레스 다 이생아 탑지야 손제 법에 두주 코나를 된다 봐지 차고요레.
So the topic of this text is the two parts of consciousness and wisdom. And consciousness is primarily what we need to eliminate. And wisdom is the antidote to it. So here we have actually come to the discussion of wisdom. And in this text, there are it's taught to be 5 different types of wisdom. These are the Dharmadhatu wisdom, Mirrorlike wisdom, the wisdom of equality, discriminating wisdom, and all-accomplishing wisdom. These are the 5 different types of wisdom. These 5 types of wisdom are really only present within the mind stream of a Buddha.
那在今天所讲到的这个课题当中讲到的就是2个部分，一个呢是意识，一个是识，一个是智慧。那而识呢是我们要净除的这个部分，而智慧呢就是净除识它的这个可以说对治的方法。而现在呢我们要讲到的是第2个部分，也就是智慧的这个部分。那在文本当中，这个智慧呢分成有5种的智慧，那它包括的是法界的智慧，还有大圆镜智、平等性智、妙观察智，还有成所作智这5种的智慧。而这些的智慧呢都是包含在佛的心绪当中。
단 남식이 ene dada sam지 ene am daga no yangaro 단 남식에 pen 수지우주지 시바로 대다 sam지는 고 본자 간르지 차고 요리세 슈바나 펜나 코노 남신 데다게 코노게 ene 돈소이나 네 가세 용다고 많이 봐 다가 노게 ene 진솔게 차네 용다고 많이 봐 디용게 ene 펜나 찐찐 ene 마로스 펜나 다 감사함 콜완데다 참지 감사함 그ben 로완데다 참지 콜위니스 벤 제와르지베게 아니 저동 찐체게 요레스 디찬에네 고 남시세야데 본자 차네 요레.
So when we talk about consciousness, really consciousness means the mind or the cognitions, consciousnesses of ordinary individuals. And so why do we talk about this as something to eliminate? Well, the reason is that consciousness sees things improperly. It engages objects improperly. And because of this, it functions as the causes and conditions that cause all the beings of the 3 realms of samsara to take birth in samsara. So that is why we need to eliminate consciousness.
那我们讲到的这个意识呢它所指的是心的这个认知，也就是凡夫的这个心。那为什么我们要去除这个识呢？那因为识呢它可以说是一种不正确的这种认知，而且也因为这样呢所产生的不正当的这种的行为。那因此呢这个识呢所产生的就是产生的这个果就是让3界的这些众生不断的轮回。那因此呢我们要去除。
当我说个变的南西跟这个呢农村下来呢变的开始过吃完东呢人东个下来看着就吃完下个有的习惯东不变农村个下变的俺农村个聚了变那边些话你大概朋友有的组织这种子呢农业搞是你朋友有的组织这种子的那呢就这讲了嘛多吧你确实讲了嘛多吧你变的点点之外就往买吧有容你找不到吧就这讲了嘛多吧找不到是那是弄多电影都过弄错个家了变的这些家他们吃完吃xong大家弄一变的这做个吃了能吃完看来吃个有的习惯呢然后做个变的有的组织这种的他们就你通的你变的电把吃完这边吃大家弄一变的工作那么通的搞什么大的吃吧大的吃吧就他变的砰砰变的一样爱讲了嘛多吧有的那边的工作可能找不到吧这第一个那边的来么不这啥呢那可能那这个有了等到有南新的那些农村的那这做这类个啥呢 but Jasamba Nako Trua Chane, Ti Chane, Navian Ponza, Jinse Chavis.
So when we think about consciousness, the way that things appear to consciousness and the way that consciousness apprehends or grasps things is confused. And the reason they're confused is that when the objects such as form, sound, taste, touch, and taste and touch and so forth appear to consciousness as its objects, then they appear to consciousness as if they did not depend upon causes and conditions. They appear as if they didn't depend upon anything else. They appear as if they are not interdependent. They appear as something that is established from its own side, that is autonomous. And because that is how they appear, then the way things appear to consciousness is 100% confused. Likewise, in terms of the way we apprehend or grasp things, when the objects of form, sound, taste, form, sound, scent, taste, and touch, and so forth appear to us, then we grasp at them as being real. And when we see like an individual, we think that that individual truly exists independent of the 5 aggregates of that. And because of the 5 aggregates, and because of that, then we think that we are real individuals, or they're real individuals, and because of this, we accumulate various karma that causes us to take birth in samsara. And so in this way, the way things appear to us and the way we grasp things are 100% confused, and that is why they must be eliminated.
那我们讲到的这个识它从识当中所显现的这种显象与认知，它是迷惑的。那当这个识把对境所产生的这个显象也就是我们讲到的这个色声香味触等等，把它的这个显现出现的时候呢，在意识出现的时候，我们的识是把它当成是可以说是不具因缘而存在的，或者是说呢，它是单独的存在，它没有这种相互之间的这种依赖的关系。所以升起的在意识当中升起的时候，我们意识的见地就是可以说是100%的这种迷惑。那而当我们认知事物的时候呢，也是把这些显象色声香味触等的显象，把它执着成是真实的。而当我们见到这些个体个人的时候呢，也是把它当成是一种真实的存在，认为呢它是没有任何的这种依赖因果的关系而存在的。也因为从这样的迷惑当中，我们所造作的一切，让我们产生了轮回的这种业力。那所以这些显象跟认知呢，都是迷惑的，因此它需要去除。
이제 답변나 가르침보지를 남주용 알아줘네 단 감사합니다. 간다지나 답변나 유변나 처마 직전으로 차를 변나 면도주도 동ар 차도로. 또 뭐보제가 근데 동ar 중기 때 변나 가르세 네 뭐마셈치 근데 변면서 수소 강아침보 차요로. 답변나 공사 제라보 공사 순라제나 수 변나 수수 동ar 중기가 기대 공사 수수기 변나 남시에텔 에네 통도 바타운도 가서 야보 제바나 간라지 토르서 공사 수수기 줄이 남시에테 콘 논초르도 베는 진소르 젤레 자자자담고 베는 추와제 차 근데 공사 수수기 텔베 덴발롬 테크 가서 다 티키 베나 영혼도 저 텔베네 예체제 소반 그 공사수소 또 다오더네 benna semedeba titan chongyo tagano lumede titan chegyorese te konza suzu ga hago tobana o ngaro medeb chu semedeb lumede chungyade ngaro gi julo benna namshi benna nonsor don sinsor ne zelen chwa de khona todu de ngi tu namyo khole yi cheton ne khu gi jes mren samba suzu ngeba je toban konza suzu ngoni dongal gar thogres.
So the reason why this is important is that when we think about the suffering of all sentient beings in the three realms of samsara, what this all occurs because of is they all experience suffering. Excuse me, let me start that again. So why this is important is that all the beings of the three realms of samsara are the same in encountering suffering that they do not want. And they do not recognize what the source of that suffering is, and because of not recognizing that source, they have the difficulties. So any individual being, for any individual being, the basis on which all of their suffering arises is that individual's own consciousness. And the reason why it's their own consciousness is because they don't recognize that the way that their consciousness perceives things, the way that their consciousness grasps things is 100% confused. They don't recognize this, and because they don't, then they think that it's true. They've come under its control. They believe in it, and because of this, they then experience various different mental difficulties and physical difficulties. But if they were to realize that this is why their mental and physical difficulties occur, then they would realize that they shouldn't believe what appears to them. They shouldn't believe the way they grasp things. They shouldn't. They would realize that the way their consciousness functions is incorrect. They would not believe it and not follow it. And because they didn't believe it and follow it, then they would be able to stop their suffering.
那为什么我们刚才说的这一点很重要呢？因为在这个三界当中的所有的众生都在经历着他们不要的这个痛苦，那但是呢，他们却不知道这个痛苦是从哪里来的。那众生所感受到的这些痛苦，它都是从意识当中所升起的。那而在意识当中所升起的这些认知呢，是100%的颠倒错误的。那但是众生不知道这一点，他认为这个心识当中所升起的这些是真实的，因此呢，就被他控制，然后让身心升起了各种的障碍。那如果众生可以知道这一点，而不相信自己这个心识当中所升起的种种的显象心念，那这样呢，他就可以脱离痛苦。如果他认知到这个心识的运作是不正确的，而不去跟随它，就能够停止痛苦。
对的，大部分的一些是要得过，那帮助给念不差的咯。그 본진이 뭐 간다지 차를 시반을 따당하서요. 동안 중기 때문에 남시에 차도요. 그 동안 중기 남시 간다지 매바 지토 간다지 네 세르토 간다지 본토고서나 이시스야데 그런 통솔 기차는 자자자산 받고 용딱 봐. 근데 버나 다 진솔 기차는 자자자산 봐 용딱 봐. zel레 기차는 번 자자자산 봐. 네 용딱 봐 차요레스. 근데 다 논조르 자자자자바 네 간다지 용다고 차요 히반 이시기 바응아론 좋다 베나 치 베나 주다 저르장아 네 파 논도 값에 치 주다 저르자 대다 담진이 주질 때는 좋은다 봐. 아니 차실 때는 좋은다 봐. 땡지 레버 때는 좋은다 봐. 코크변 농기요레스. 다가너긴 지소 차네 네 파기게 때 지주라 저르잔 데다 탐치 네 베나 가세 주질 때는 좋은다 봐. 아니 차실 때는 좀 땡저 좋아. 다간 지거요레스. 대자운데 마지바페나 아니 땡을 파운데 갑서 네 세이크 베나 주라 저르잔가이나 농주게 셈제 간다지나 네 요 롱이지 마라바 네 다도 메비 따와 옹섬 또 타고요 다가너기 벤 똥반이지 따와 땡지 저완 좋아 대지로 시오로다 요 롱원에 마라바 네 옹섬도 또 타비 준세제 고 녀보 차로 디용게 네 동아인 저기 납시 용소 벤나 네 뽕 타고요 그래서
Now, wisdom is the antidote that eliminates this. And the reason why it is the antidote is because the basis of all suffering is consciousness. And so, so how can we eliminate consciousness? How can we dispel it? How can we get rid of it and eliminate it? Well, the reason that wisdom can eliminate it is because it is 100% correct. The way it sees things is 100% correct. The way it grasps them or apprehends them is 100% correct. The way it functions is 100% correct. So how is it that the way it sees things is 100% correct? Well, whenever wisdom perceives any of the 5 objects of form, sound, taste, smell, taste, and touch, and so forth, then it sees how they arise out of causes. It sees how they're composed of parts. It sees how they appear because of interdependence. Likewise, when it grasps them as all the external form, sound, scent, taste, and touch as arising out of causes because of parts and being interdependent and therefore not being truly existent. It realizes that all external things and all the internal, all sentient beings actually are selfless, and so it realizes the view of selflessness. Likewise, it realizes the view of emptiness, and it realizes that all of the different objects cannot be autonomously established, and therefore they are emptiness. And because it realizes emptiness, therefore it is able to eliminate the consciousness that causes suffering.
那智慧呢？它是去除心识的这个对境，而痛苦呢，一切痛苦的基可以说就是心识了。那而智慧是怎么样的净除这个心识呢？那首先在智慧当中所见的一切可以说是100%的正确哦。而智慧的运作，它是完全的正确的。而从智慧当中所见的色声香味触的5种对境，所见到的是它的这个因缘的和合，而且呢是当中的这种组合的部分，还有互相依存的这些关系呢，都清晰的所见。而从智慧当中升起的认知，也是见到当中的这种因缘的生灭，看到的是这些对境它不具质性，它不是单独存在的。那所见这种认知，也是所有的万法以及众生呢不是单独的存在，因此是无我的。以及这些对境也是空性。那所以呢在智慧当中所升起的这种认知，它是完全的去除升起痛苦的心识。
对，但남주용아서 변나 용라라 이제 pena sonje ji kompo siya ji tab nam ju she yoro ne sonje ji kompo siya khande ji ngon ji gur shuban pena sanen ro che yong de wa la lemne nga so sonje kompo siya de nga so ne ji thaba chi ya go se de ya go go yo marwa sonje kompo chi se de sonje pa bu tu ju gen chen ba de ne nga su ju la ka du je so na ne sonje ji kompo thaba de ya ro pena nga su ku lu ten ten la sonje gen tu ju gen chen ba de nga su pena Julia Jesumban, no sonjo kompo toyores. Tijion tapena namshi de pena yeshil nenjo was tatishin de kam de yeshes ya namshi nenjo. Chidon nenjo ya te ono menraba ne kashi yosar. Pena ngaso nenjo de pena tata pena penro yabana. Sabon koron ne pa ngo ne nyugu ngo njoba te sabon ne nyugu la pen nenjo ba. Dik chan chik hiong to pen nyele ju te ane drivu ngo juwa la nen jo cha chik hiong dik kab ten pen namshi shing ngo nen jo si tu namshi kono pen jo chin ane she ngo pen nyele jun no yi chin ane chan ro ye cha la pen namshi she nen jo si hieg yor se te hieg yor ma res ane pen namshi she nen jo si ya te pen namshi si ya ti ne ko ponza chi ponza te pa ser ne ishi pen susu jula so ne kadu je sumana ne pen nenjos tene je ko language.
So usually we talk about Buddhahood, and when you wonder about Buddhahood, well, what does that mean? We might think that Buddhahood means that there's some other place, that if you go to this other place, then you've achieved the state of Buddhahood. So is that what it means? It's not. Actually, Buddhahood, what Buddhahood means is that when someone develops the wisdom of a Buddha within their own being, then that is Buddhahood. So when we develop the wisdom of a Buddha within ourselves, then that is when we achieve the state of Buddhahood. And so when we do this, then consciousness is transformed into wisdom. But when we talk about transformation, there are different ways that we can understand transformation. And so you might think of transformation as like when you have a seed. So you have the essence of a seed, and that gradually transforms into the essence of a shoot, of a plant. And so this is like when you have the substantial cause that then transforms into the result. So is this the way when we talk about consciousness transforming into wisdom? Is that what we mean when we say that consciousness transforms into wisdom, that it is like a substantial cause that transforms into result? That's not what we mean. When we say that consciousness transforms into wisdom, what we mean is that when we eliminate the consciousness that needs to be eliminated, then the wisdom arises, and that is what we mean. That is what transformation means.
那当我们谈论到佛果的时候，那到底所说的这个佛果是什么呢？有时候呢，我们会以为说佛果可能代表的就是某一种特别的地方，好像我们去到这个地方的时候呢，就成佛了。那但是呢，这其实不是佛果。那所说的这个佛果呢，是所指的是从心中所升起的这种佛的智慧。也就是说，当我们在心中升起这个佛智的时候呢，我们就证得佛果。那而在这里讲到的，我们讲到的是要把心识转化成为佛的智慧。那在这里的这个转化所代表的意义是什么呢？那一般的来说，当我们谈到转化的时候，我们可能会想到的是像一个种子，它慢慢的成长，然后呢发芽，最后长成一个植物这样的一种转化。那就像是这种因果关系的这样的一种转化。那但是这是在我们说转识成智里面的这种转化吗？并不是。那在这里讲到的这个转化呢，所代表的就是我们把要去除的这种心识， 把它完全的去除了。那这样就是我们所说的转化。
对，他的光的说法是，那些来些念旧是搞不定的，他心啊有啊，心啊的念旧说了本来。就讲那边他念旧有了，可是边那数据就了接话子巴来，可就接了点的中国有了。但是人家东北心啊，可能我看着情况这个是吧呢？他全一些是呀的，看着情况这个是呢，边那大半年的这些是他的想了。边前些人我这边呢，甚至跑不出去了，边那搞定的想了。可大半年的这边呢，这塔巴这边呢，吃素的，你牛毛不这把样子做啊，年不到就讲吧，大农这边他们之前吧，人特别啦，你把的这把边西子这把样子吧，边年不准备的，你边抢年不准备的边那些子，对了，你全一些，他边那甚至跑不出去了，边那搞定的些家人之后嘞，这边那一些他们之间呢。大家往以前着就我这个有类似。
So when we talk about the consciousness is transforming into wisdom, they transform into the 5 different types of wisdom. So when we talk about this in terms of causes and conditions, then it's like the wisdoms arise out of these causes and conditions. But what is the essence of wisdom? Well, as I mentioned, wisdom is the 5 different types of wisdom. And these 5 wisdoms, the first of them is the Dharmadhatu wisdom. So Dharmadhatu wisdom is what we call twofold purity. And so this means the truth of cessation within the continuum of a Buddha, within the being of a Buddha. And so this is twofold purity because it is has been purified of all of the afflictive obscurations that would prevent anyone from achieving nirvana, as well as free of all of the cognitive obscurations that prevent the attainment of omniscience. And so because it is the antidote that eliminates or destroys them, the wisdom that does that, this is called the Dharmadhatu wisdom. And so that is the truth of cessation within the being of a Buddha. And it's like the basis or foundation of all the other wisdoms.
那在这里我们谈论到的是心识转化成5种的佛智。那在这里呢，我们要讲到的是这个智慧，它也是从因缘当中所升起的。而在智慧当中的这个本性，它是什么呢？那首先在5种佛智当中的第一个是法界体性智。而在法界体性智当中呢，它有包含的是2种的清净。那也可以说它是就是在我们说的当中的智慧，就是包含在灭地就包含了这个灭地。那这2种的清净呢，所指的是在成佛道上的2种障碍，也就是烦恼障跟所知障得到完全的清净净除。而这些烦恼的它的这个对治呢，就是智慧那因此呢，这样的一个智慧把它称为是法界体性智。而这样的智慧呢，它也是其他佛智的这种基础。
对，他本来一些爱弄的，一些泥巴的本来没弄到一些是差有的是，但没弄到一些是看着就我这个学吧呢，本来他工作不可以去在那，没到大那就工作点吧，你要多当用这个去，是那没到，因为本来多当点吧，第本来你工作不可以去，多当用这个去，你 pena dad maybe tawa ne toni ke tawa tenri tawa ne ngonsam do pena ne topi ke ishi ke chaje ne melota we shes te ya go yores chidong aron cho pena tata phagpi khonza tekche pena phagpi khonza tata thonglam pa da gomlam pa tata ke ne kunjom khorwi cha kunjom khorwi chu pena ngonsam do to go yore daga no ki todam nyonde ke chu ngonsam to go yoro yen na yon pena chenpa je ke ne dondan denpa dong ne kunjob denpa se zawani ne chenpa je ke ne ngonsam do to to go yo maras sonje phagba ne thyomo mai be ko chong kunje yongte kunde mi junse chene ne chenpa je ke kunjom khorwi chu todam nyonde ke chu yonzu ba du pena 깨지게 찍는 건삼 또 되게 대인도 대도비게 시 배나 차지는 멜론다위 해서 그래서.
Now the second type of wisdom is mirror-like wisdom. So how can we identify or how do we describe that? Well, we have the phenomena of samsara. These are like the we have the relative phenomena like relative truth. And we have alternate phenomena which are like ultimate truth. And so all of these phenomena, the relative and the ultimate phenomena, are selfless. This is like the wisdom that realizes the view of the selflessness, the view of emptiness, and the view of interdependence directly. That type of wisdom is called the mirror-like wisdom. Now, of course, all noble beings, when they have achieved the paths of seeing and meditation, are able to realize or perceive all phenomena, all relative phenomena. And they're also able to realize all the ultimate phenomena. But they cannot do this at a single moment with a single knowing or a single moment of wisdom. But the Buddha can. This is a particular feature of the Buddha's wisdom, that the Buddha can perceive all the relative and all ultimate phenomena at the same time with a single moment of wisdom. And that type of wisdom is what we call mirror-like wisdom.
那第二种的佛智是大圆镜智。那我们怎么样描述这样的一个智慧呢？那么我们说到二谛当中的这个世俗谛，或者是说相对的这种真理，在当中所包含的这种相对的现象，以及在圣义谛当中，或者是说绝对的真理当中所升起的这些现象。那不管它是世俗的还是圣义的，这些现象呢，都是无我的，而认知而证悟这种二谛当中的现象是无我的因缘生的，这样的一个智慧呢，我们称它为大圆镜智。那当然在所有的这些圣者当中，他们在修五道当中的修行，当他们证的见道跟修道的时候，他也是可以看到我们所说的这二谛当中的现象是无我的，是因缘的。那但是呢，他们没有办法在一刹那当中可以认知到这些的一切，而佛呢，他有这样的这个能力，他可以在一刹那当中见到圣义谛跟世俗谛当中的所有的真相真谛。那所以这种佛所具有的这种刹那的认知的智慧呢，就是我们说的大圆镜智。
pena kunzum khuri chu todan nyonde chu kanda ji na pena rongyi ji madropa ni jikwa jikjong yin ba chenba da no gi pena kunzum khuri chu todan nyonde chu kanda ji na da madropa jikwa jikjong yin ba pena chenba don da no gi pena ne kunzum khuri chu todan nyonde chu tenjin jerwan jo wa yin ba jikwa jikjong ba pena chenpa jing ma do ba yong kunzom korwi chu ka he le pena rongyi ji drop da ba tondang ge chu rongyi ma drop da ma yi ba yong kunzom chu ka he pena tenjin rewa jong da ba todang chu ka he pena tenjin rewa jo ma yi ba da ma yi ba ane pena rongyi ma drop ba ane jikwa jikjong da da ma drop jikwa jikjong tongyi ba jikwa jikjong pena chenpi je ge she je la ne nyamni she yes.
The third type of wisdom is the wisdom of equality. So when we say the wisdom of equality, what this is what it is the knowledge that knows that all relative phenomena and all ultimate phenomena are the same in not being established in their nature. It knows that all relative and ultimate phenomena are the same in not being truly existent. It knows that all relative and ultimate phenomena are the same in being interdependent. It's not like it thinks, oh, these relative phenomena are naturally exist and these ultimate phenomena don't, or it doesn't think that, oh, some relative phenomena aren't interdependent and some some ultimate phenomena are interdependence. It does not think in that way. It knows that all relative and ultimate phenomena are the same in being not inherently existing, in being selfless, and so forth.
那第三种智慧呢？第三种的佛智是平等性智。那当中所说的是什么呢？那在这里所讲到的是平等性智当中的这个认知，在二谛当中，不管是世俗谛还是圣义谛，所有的一切的现象，它都是平等的。而这个平等所代表的是，不管是二谛当中的任何一谛的事物，它都是无自性的，因此它是平等；它都是非真有的，因此呢，它们是平等。而且呢，也是因缘生，因此呢，也是平等。那在这样的智慧呢，它不会把某一些的事物当成是自然存在，而某一些呢，而不是。那不管是圣义谛还是世俗谛，所有的这些所的现象呢，它都是因缘生，都是无我的等等的这样的一种认知。
他没些那一般的本说多一些这个的巧也是，说多一些是看着讲我这个学吧呢，本来今年边呢就马路吧那满着吧用是钱吧是。但今年不出去就看着我这个是工作个出的想的，工作点别个出，那工作可以个出，是大本来就是说，那本做着这种日子，大家那个青农这点农就什么的，那哪么是？但满这把干着钱个是的，那青农这点农就什么的，那了那叔叔个就本来那最近本来电竞这话就啊。那我干着也罢，再来干着也罢，说没着吧有了，那组织这个在可能着也是那就说个就没着吧，那年龄就没着吧，那年纪这没着吧，大脑就那我没着吧，那这没着吧有了，在他们去那慢着吧，那用是本钱币给，我上面的钱币本来一些了，那说多一些。
The fourth type of wisdom is discriminating wisdom. And what this means is the wisdom that knows distinctly every single one of the all of the different phenomena that there are, as many as there are. And so when we talk about all the different phenomena there are, this means all samsaric phenomena. It means all relative phenomena, relative truth, relative existence. It means like form, feel, all the external objects of form, forms, sound, scent, taste, touch, and so forth. It means the external world, all the internal sentient beings. And so this is the wisdom that knows each of these phenomena's own individual causes, their substantial causes, the cooperating conditions. It realizes all of the interdependence, what their essences are, what their functions, and what their results are. And so it's able to perceive directly and distinctly all of the causes, cooperating conditions, essences, and results of all external and internal phenomena such as form, sound, and so forth. And so the wisdom that knows all of these distinctly and directly is the fourth type of wisdom, the discriminating wisdom.
那第四个佛智，它是妙观察智。那它当中所描述的是什么呢？在这里所说的是，在我们说一切的这个法界的现象，那不管它是相对的还是这个究竟的，也就是不管是世俗还是圣义谛的，这些所有的现象还有我们说的这个外在的这个世界色声香味触世界与众生等等，这一切的这些现象当中所包含的因缘，还有它的这个本性，它的功用等等，这些所有的现象，每一个的现象都能够分别的而且直接的认知这样的一个智慧，就称为第四种的智慧，妙观察智。
이제 답변은 생각보다는 자료비시스야 돼 차요. 근데 자료비시스야 간다 정원지 쉬바나. 그러나 둘잔데나 이네. 그러나 또 용답이 라음라 이네. 코버티피 페나 쳔바지. 답변 둘자 용답이 라음고 주든 쳔바 간다 원지 것이나. 근데 둘자 수수 로답 체정 여러와. 콜 로답 체정 용도 가서 코노기 페나 등하게 준비지바 간데지는 콜레라고 페나 고다 초고도 다는 이제 코로나에 대위기 페나 준비해야 돼 콜 고다티나 간데고 레라고 초고도 티페 페네 자네네 코로나기 페나 쳔비기 페나 시제 파겔 페 레라고나 고다 쳐야지 요로 답한 신소나 코로나 로답디 체정하고 소나 딘데기 페나 쳔비 시제는 자로비시에스
The fifth type of wisdom is accomplishing wisdom, all-accomplishing wisdom. What this type of wisdom means is there are many different people, disciples, or people to be tamed or benefited. And this is the wisdom that knows how to bring each of these different types of people onto the true path. Because every different individual to be tamed has the different strength of different degrees of intelligence, and so this is the wisdom that knows how to make each individual disciple properly understand what it is that they need to do to eliminate the causes of samsara, and it knows how to easily make each individual know what the causes of happiness are. So this is the wisdom that knows how to make this really easy for each individual to understand. So it is knowing the different degrees of intelligence of the various people, and then and how to teach them. And so this type of wisdom is called all-accomplishing wisdom.
那第五种的佛智是成所作智。那当中的意义所指的是在可以说在众生当中，他们有不一样的这样的根器，而不同的众生，他有各种不同程度的这种世俗的智慧。那如何把这些不一样的众生都引导到这个正道上面？ 怎么样把这些不同的众生都教导他们，让他们可以从轮回当中得到解脱，知道乐因是什么。那这样的一种智慧，可以知道如何去教导不一样的众生的这样的一个智慧，究竟的智慧就是我们所说的成所作智。
对呀，当我说变那研究可能一些个做那蓝的那个说用就没找不用咔，要把这意思，但就没找咔，看着要把是呢，他的电视去一些可能给你觉得变那蓝的那个说，变那一些我们就吧，但一些我们就把这些个人我们这个是呢，变通蓝一些到公蓝一些，那我们就接到给你这个变那去一些，你接头个有这意思。
Now, when consciousness is transformed into wisdom, then each of the wisdoms has its own different causes that cause the transformation. For example, with the first of the wisdoms, Dharmadhatu wisdom, the cause that makes it become manifest is the wisdom that is manifest during the phase of the path. It is because of the cause, that is the wisdom of the path of seeing and path of meditation, that the result, the Dharmadhatu wisdom, will become manifest.
那当心识转成佛智时，那这样的一个转化，它是需要有因缘的，而每一种的佛智都有不一样的这个因。那首先是第一个的佛智是法界体性智，而法界体性智它的因呢，是在见道与修道当中的修持所产生的这个果，这个果呢就是法界体性智。
的确，但本来你是你把没弄一些个呢，就老把蓝的那个看着进我这个学班的，土生希腊的我这个是，但本来土生希腊的看着进我这个学班呢，拍的了，那本来大的没比大位个东了，本土吧的三把那光吧，哦，大那个本东把你就大位东了，本来土吧的三把过吧。다가 너기 벤나 군접 코르위추 또 나 뇽데기 추테다게 네 벤나 코로나 그 동호텔라네 간다지 뭐 투바도 삼바 곰바 딘디기 벤나 히랍질라네 멜론다 위시기 벤나 주로 야고 요레스.
The cause of the second type of wisdom, mirror-like wisdom, is the prajna, the prajna of listening and contemplating on the path. And the way this is the cause, the way the cause of the prajna of listening and contemplating on the path is the cause of mirror-like wisdom. It's like when we listen and contemplate and meditate on the view of selflessness, or when we listen and contemplate and meditate upon the view of emptiness, or when we or it is the prajna that comes from listening, contemplating, and meditating what relative phenomena are and what the ultimate phenomena of nirvana are. And so this listening, contemplating, and this prajna of listening, contemplating, and meditating is the cause of mirror-like wisdom.
那第二种的佛智大圆净智所升起的因呢，是从闻思当中所产生的这种般若智慧。那当我们从闻思当中，然后再做这个比如是当我们做这个闻思 无我，禅修无我，从这个闻思空性、禅修空性所升起的这种智慧，让我们认知到世俗什么是世俗谛的现象，什么是圣义谛的现象。那这样等等的，最后所产生的这种般若智慧，它就是第二种的大圆净智的因。
这大本呢，那些孙巴这个那냠니 시지 되게 아니 저 로바 라미 내가 스페는 로 남네 냠바니도 콤바스 타텐자죠 로 냠바니 타로 냠바니 콤바스 타타 소시온다 벤 체미예 삼바 체미 네 가와지 노양지 닝지 체미지 데노 시온로 다 지동아로 스페나 타타 년도 데달라 닝지 요요카로 네 닝지 데서 고 명남 베나 남케타도 냠비 셈제 탐지라 네 파 명남데 네 특고야 말와 특반 준비야 닝제세 남게 타도냐 비심제다 대다 트레고요 요감 갈랑아서 상우다 네 내게 팔레페는 침이 간다지 감 특고르시 네 코노게 네 카기베들 베나 셈제수서 맨라웬데 네 베나 졸람 맨라바 네 삼노동서 맨라바요 요리데 엔다 수수고 팔라티 침이 감소마 수수 대와 주지 주차로요 바로 비콘자 코 좀보인난다 네 pen dubo inandra tege chebayama suzu ge ni chemi ye gamda ban suzu devi jo cha no ma to pe suzu jonggu kon pen jonggu phog marwa te hajong ge pen chengo ya karche mores.
The third type of wisdom is the mirror-like wisdom, and the cause for this during the phase of the path is when we realize the equality of all sentient beings. And that is the four immeasurables. So it is immeasurable loving kindness, immeasurable compassion, immeasurable joy, and immeasurable equanimity. So of course everyone has compassion, like there is the compassion of the listeners and the Pratyeka Buddhas. And they have compassion, but it is not the compassion that is equal for all sentient beings throughout space. But in the Mahayana, compassion is the compassion for every sentient being without space. And so we might think to ourselves, well, how can we meditate upon compassion for all sentient beings throughout space? Because there are so many different types of sentient beings who all have different types of behavior and different attitudes. And we might think that how does our meditating upon the four immeasurables help them? Well, actually, when we meditate upon the four immeasurables, it is not. There's no we don't we meditate for other beings without any discussion or distinction about whether they're good beings or bad beings, and we do this because it is a cause that brings happiness for ourselves and not necessarily for the others. So it is important to know that when we meditate upon the four immeasurables, this is a cause for our own happiness. I think I might have said the name of this wisdom wrong. The third type of wisdom is the wisdom of equality.
那第三种的佛智，它是大圆净第三种的佛智，它是平等性质。而平等性质，它的因是什么呢？它的因就是认知所有众生的这个功德，也就是我们说修的这个事无量心，也就是持无量心、悲无量心、喜无量心跟舍无量心的这样的慈悲喜舍事无量心的这种禅修。那当然我们说每一个人的心当中多少他都是有这个慈悲心的，那就像是这个辟支佛当中呢，他也是具有这样的慈悲心。那但是呢，这个慈悲心 他具有的慈悲心呢，并不是遍及我们说的遍虚空的所有一切的众生，而大乘的菩萨呢，却是具有这种事无量心的。那我们可能会想到说，在这个世界上的所有的众生，有这么多的众生，然后呢，每一样的众生，它有不一样的因缘、不一样的心态等等。我们禅修这个事无量心，怎么样的可以去帮助它呢？那首先在这里呢，我们要认知到的是说，我们修这个事无量心呢，首先是可以说是我们自己的一种解脱的因，我们自己快乐的因哦，而不是说可以说是不是针对说这个众生他到底是好的是坏的，首先呢是利益我们。
对，大部分一些一般的速度一些些，你第一个就老把蓝的那个是得电视做，原来呢蓝色就嘛老把电把是，大部分蓝的那么nhiều rồi bên nào khối vi làm gì à chứ đâu này bên nào thar vi làm nhon de làm gì à chứ那么nhiều rồi, ta đang khối vi làm gì à thì ta còn sống khối vào gì cái bên này lệ chứ cũng nhon de ba nhom cũng nhon de ba thế chả rồi, ta tin đi cái bên này lệ chứ cũng nhon de ba nhom cũng nhon de ba tin đi cái nhom bộ bên nào, này làm cản ra nhom ba, thế xin cho mà lo ba tiền ba, ta nhom bộ làm thì cô ta thong làm tông này công làm rồi, anh thong làm được công làm cái nam gia cái chỉ mà lo bắt tiền bắt là, anh ta thì anh làm bên nào用到bắt tiền bắt thì chả rồi, số đôi cái chứ.
The fourth type of wisdom is discriminating wisdom, and the cause of this is teaching teaching without mistake the proper path. So we have two different types of path. There's the path of samsara and the path to liberation and nirvana. The path of samsara is the path that is the path of the origin of afflictions, the origin of karma that produce samsara. And so when we teach properly what the antidote towards that, what the path that is the antidote towards that, and we teach it properly, then that is the cause of discriminating wisdom. And so it is actually teaching properly the characteristics of the paths of seeing and meditation. And when we teach those properly, that becomes the cause for discriminating wisdom. Samsara and the path of liberation. And when we talk about the liberation or the samsara path. Right, the liberation is the antidote towards the samsara.
那第四种的佛智是妙观察智，妙观察智它的因呢是来自无误的教导这个正道。那当讲到道的时候呢，它可以分成恶道。那首先第一个呢是轮回之道，第二呢是解脱涅槃之道。而在轮回道当中所包含的，也就是 可以说是让我们产生轮回的这个原因的业与烦恼，它的这个因。那而我们说的这个妙观察智呢，它的因呢是来自于无物的教导，在我们说五道的修持当中，见道跟修道当中的这些修行的方法，它修持的这种真谛，这样的一个就是妙观察智的因。
이제 다 이시 응아바 자로시 차요시 되게 주변에 로바 람지 내가 간다 레시바나 다다 아니 고삼지 좁아pen 자신보스야 돼 차요레스 고삼지 좁아 자신보 답은 고삼지 좁아 자신보스도 간다지 쇼고 열시나 아니 벤 데비 주르 주비 아니 류지 자와 류지 레 류지 쫄람 간다라와스 다가노기 펜데 데비 주르 주비 나게 아니 레 나게 쫄람 나게 자와 간다 임바 다가노기 펜데 이지 데비 주르 주비 이지 네레 이지 쫄람 이지 자와 간다 임바 대다 탐치 아니 용조바 펜데 템비케 아니 차절 다다 아니 자로비시 주디 차오레스
The fifth type of wisdom is the accomplishing wisdom. And the cause for this during the phase of the path is having vast conduct of the three gates, the body, speech, and mind. So what we mean with vast conduct of the three gates is that it is performing the actions of body that are causes for happiness. So performing the actions, the behavior, and the karma that will be the cause for happiness with the body. It also means performing the actions of speech, or the behavior or the karma of speech that will cause happiness. And it means performing the actions, behavior, or karma of mind that will be causes of happiness. And so when we are able to perform all of these, then that, or the aspect of performing all of these, is the cause for the accomplishing wisdom.
那首先补充一下刚才讲到的这个无物教导，五道当中见道跟修道，而这个五道呢，就是我们讲到恶道当中的这个解脱道。那第五种的佛智呢，是成所作智，而成所作智，它的这个因呢，是指在我们在道地上修持的时候。可以，我们的这个山门的这种广大的所行，也就是我们说的这个身口意的广大行。那我们说的这个广大的行呢，所指的是从我们身体当中所造作的这些身业、这些行为，它是可以引致我们证得这种真正的快乐，是乐因。同样的，在语业跟身业、语业跟意业当中所行的一切，也是引领我们到快乐，成为快乐的因。那所以把这样的一种身口意的广大行呢，它就是成所作智的因。
So Khenpo would like to know if anyone has any questions.
那所以Khenpo呢，想知道有没有人有问题。
请教Khenpo，就是今天讲到就是心识，我们凡人的心识呢，就是100%是错误的，是轮回的因。那么佛呢，就是成佛是不是？我就想请问，就是不是我们普通人通过文思修啊、禅修啊这些，把我们这个心识错误的心识呢，引导到就是那个空性无我，这样的就是 就是证入这种空性无我，那个心识是不是就转成了佛的智慧了，成佛了？
就是当证的空性无我的时候，是不是就转化成为佛智？
就是所谓的就佛智，然后呢就是成佛了。就是这个佛智是不是也是就像众生的我们所想哈，就是心识嘛。那么100%错误的，那么智慧呢是100%正确的。那么是不是就是我们正入通过文思修啊、禅修啊这样子正入了无我空性，就是处处所思所想都看到了这个实相，所谓的实相就是空性啊、无我这个实相以后，就是佛智，心识是不是转成佛智了？就是这个意思。
So the question is about it's about the Buddha wisdom, as we talked about that ordinary beings' consciousness is 100% mistaken. It's 100% wrong, and the Buddha's wisdom sees the absolute truth. So does that mean as we practice, when we are able to realize emptiness and selflessness, at that moment we were able to see the truth of all the phenomena, and that is the Buddha's wisdom?
산적이 예시디라로 지다는 가서는 켄포 소문난 신데 네 소수기역이 남시디라네 가서 갸탐바네 가서 초벌에 네 산적이 지다는 드나는 바시기여래 다지도 대인들 가서 그 밤냐스 lembe카스인데 톰바니단 다음에 바니 토송나 근데 추탐식이 대고는 데 토네 데 가서 산지기 예시디 통기를 베스트아웃
나래 답변은 아주 수수주주주주지배나 시바 네 남시 파제 제세 다 급주 겁딩 겁지데 고 제세자담바고 트루이 시바 차더로 얘나용 배는 수수주주래용 자차 배나 시바 얘나용 타직도 배나 가서 제세자담바용 배는 트루이 병에 바요르세테 요말 배나 가서 때요로 배나 수수주주라 돈이 배나 돈지고네 또바 다음에바 돈지고네 또바 요로 대다담 제세자담바고 트루와르 베슨 트루와 차요마 용배나 손지 그 많이 줘 배나 가서 다 파고와요와 네 파고벤 티바좀 파고와이 시엔데 티밍 파고벤 통랑바도 공랑바 대다가벤 돈이공 삼도 또요리 당미공 삼도 또요로 대다가 유진 첨바도 용 제시자 삼바벤 트와 차요르서 트와 차요마 로 배나 가로 손 마지비 공사가 줄라네 제시자 삼바벤 로이나 가지고 다 시바나 제시자 삼바벤 트와 빙 해봐요르선 대요마레스 얘는 수수주주지 시바변의 제샤 표본 제샤 급주고 딱 고로 받아 고디 고지세 네 뭐저때 트루익 시바 코나 차로 이러지
Chitantane sorry, wrong language. The consciousnesses within the being of an ordinary individual are probably like 97 or 98 or maybe 100% confused. But to say, actually to say they're 100% confused is really quite difficult because when ordinary individuals have a conceptual understanding of emptiness or a conceptual understanding of selflessness, that's not confused. So you can't say they're 100% confused. Likewise, when you have noble beings other than Buddhas, this means like bodhisattvas on the paths of seeing or liberation, or seeing or meditation, or the people on the listeners' paths of seeing and meditation, and they have realization of emptiness and selflessness, and those are not confused. So you can't say that they're 100% confused. But we would have to say that when we look at the consciousnesses or the cognitions of most ordinary individuals, that they're probably 97 or 98% confused.
那首先呢，堪布的回答是那关于凡夫所有的这个心识，那应该我们是说97%或者98%，甚至是100%迷惑的。那但是说它是100%迷惑，其实也是比较重吧，这样的话。那因为这些凡夫他在概念上面对于空性跟无我的这种认知呢，我们不能说它是迷惑的。那还有的就是我们说的这些圣者们，就是还没有证的佛果的这种圣者，也就是在渐修恶道当中的这些行者们、菩萨、声闻等等，他们的这种认知呢，也不是迷惑的。因此呢，也不能说所有凡夫的心识都是100%的迷惑，但是呢，对于大部分的凡夫来说，可以说就是97%、98%都是迷惑吧。So the remaining 3%, 2%, or 4%, are they the Buddha's wisdom?
다도 매봐도 땡들어 벤 동지군 또 배가서 다 집아서마도 해요. 근데 여러. 용 다가 너지 벤나 손지 많이 줘 안에 파고비기 줄라. 용 벤때 또 배기 해봐 여러. 그 수수죠 파봐 니가 그 줄도 벤손 맞이 배 공사가 줄. 타지고 벤 땡에 벤나 제제 something 손지 코너를 해 봐요 말이지. 수수죠 여리 파고비 공 벤나 손 맞이 벤 파고비 공사라 여리스.
So it's not necessarily a Buddha's wisdom, because there is like the conceptual understanding within a ordinary individual's being, like their conceptual understanding of emptiness or selflessness or interdependence that comes from inference. There is also the knowledge of emptiness and selflessness and so forth within those noble beings who are not yet Buddhas. And so both of those are not Buddha's wisdom. So you can't say that all of those remaining 2 or 3 or 4% of the cognitions are necessarily Buddha's wisdom, because there are also all the cognitions from all the ordinary individuals and noble individuals who are not yet Buddhas.
那它并不是智慧哦，那因为我们说的这个剩下的剩余的2%、3%呢，可以说是概念上对于空性缘起法等等的这种认知，或者是说这些圣者们他对于空性无我的这种证悟知识也好。但是呢，它并不是，虽然不是迷惑，但它不一定是智慧哦，因为他们还没有证的这种佛果。
Microphone. It's right here. Jackie? Oh.
Oh. 我的问题是，心识和智慧，是不是对圣人来说，他就是智慧了？ 然后普通凡夫他是心是普通的，有没有更好的例子来说明？请问堪布。
So the question is about the relationship between consciousness and wisdom. For ordinary beings, are they different? Are they separate? But for realized beings, are they the same thing? Is there a better example to demonstrate about the difference between the connections between consciousness and wisdom?
Standirane namshi yeshinigi da karisar digi jawa digi kazo digi kebra ki korla chitan penangaso sosokeo na tne de namshi yeshini tade bata chagi na yana ane todengi toba yukengi ganza chigi gona de tade na ne chikbara na kandi na de namshi yeshinigi jalsu de kandi na jawa because of pensing number jawa.
Today chibara pena tonga so koni nirva seya de konyo ma pena ga susu ju ju lo yobi ke pena kare ne shiba yodo jo de pen namshi chara yago yoro. Ta pena phagwa gonza ge ju lo yobi yo pena shiba de la yon cha ni yor namshi cha je do hi cha je namba ni yo baro ro phagwi gonza ju 옛날 배나 남시 될 님도 배나 출위기 차적 동요 마트로비 차적 대차hin 요 남시 그런 뭐쳐다다 공큐바노 이래 가서 수수지우지 남시 배 자자 급죽 곱디고 배나 자자자 단트와 차로 그래서 남지 시에요 엄마 탄저배 수수지우지 시바는 추시임이 찹스 로 다가지고 배 농조라는 자자자 트와 네 뭐전 진소라 된 트와 zelek chan chuwa cha de yersko guardian chuwa cha le pa da me ba toni ta wa ma to suandi tindi heba samji pen yor nomi kap se ne yor pen cha she kon ma to so cha kon ma to ba ten non ro yores tindi pen chon ro yores ta ti sun ro.
There's no connection between them. There's no relation or connection between them. Basically, all cognitions that ordinary beings have are consciousness. And with the cognitions or the mind of noble individuals, there are two types. There are consciousnesses and wisdoms. So even with consciousnesses, there are two types of consciousness. There are confused and there are unconfused consciousnesses. So as I said before, not all the consciousnesses of an ordinary individual are confused. 97 or 98% are confused. But as is said in the Consequentialist Middle Way School, it said that if it's an ordinary beings' consciousnesses are necessarily confused, and the reason that is said is because the way things appear to it is 100% confused. Also because of the way they grasp it or the function of it, it can be confused. The reason that things appear to consciousness as confused is because it is not the realization of selflessness or emptiness. They have not realized that, and so therefore the appearance is confused. The way things appear is that they do not depend upon causes and conditions, and that they don't have parts or depend upon parts and so forth. They aren't 100% confused cognitions, but they're all confused. They're 100% confused in how they appear, in how appearances occur to them.
Oh, I see. It's connection.
Yeah. So let me make this clear in English. The cognitions of, or the mind of ordinary individuals are not necessarily confused cognitions, but the way anything appears to them is necessarily confused. So even though the way things appear to them, they can still have the right understanding of something.
那可以说，这个心识跟智慧之间呢，它并没有这个关联。那而那可以说在凡夫的心当中所有的是就是心识，而对于这些修行的圣者们呢，在他们的心当中，它是有包含了心识与智慧那所以那而单独的从心识的层面来说，它也可以包括也可以分成是迷惑的这种心智跟非迷惑的离迷惑的这样的一个心智。那也就是因为这样呢，之前我说到的说在众生的心识当中是97%、98%它是迷惑的这样的原因。在我们佛教的这个中观派当中的这个见解呢，它有提到的是在凡夫的心识的这种认知当中呢，它并不是一定是迷惑的。那但是在心识当中的这种显现，它是100%是迷惑的。但是从显现当中，我们所得到的这种心识的认知呢，它不一定是100%的迷惑。
Are there any more questions?
还有问题吗？
这个呢，去年是个就的，卡着杨家送了囊。
去年是个就，对对对，去年是个就，对对对，本来老把蓝的那个是那通蓝跟蓝东，那滚比蓝。
So the cause of the Dharmadhatu wisdom, the question is, for those who didn't hear it, the question is, could Khenpo repeat the cause of the Dharmadhatu wisdom? The answer is, the cause of the Dharmadhatu wisdom is the paths of seeing and meditation.
那刚才的问题是问到的是让堪布重复这个法界体性智它的因，堪布的回答呢是见道跟修道当中的这个修持。
Is that it?
那就是就这样吗？
So when you talk about mirror-like wisdom, there is relative phenomena and truth, and also ultimate phenomena and truth. When we are able to realize perceiving all the phenomena at the same time with single wisdom, then that's called mirror-like wisdom. So in this case, I'm a little bit confusing. In this case, is there still consciously is parallel existing there and immediately transferred to the wisdom, or it's just the wisdom simultaneously show up?
Excuse me? Just the last, I didn't hear. Last.
The last one?
The last sentence, yeah.
The last sentence is their consciousness still parallel existing there, or only in the wisdom simultaneously show up?
Okay.
Yeah.
Chitandine melon tabo yeshidi la and chitandine the kitchen machi la and kore chitandine na vichu tamse and kitchen machi la and toygi ranshin into sambalaya ta de la ne ke career is na de dan dunyam de ne namshi yorbe ya na de niena namshi yoba te ka ne khazo de melon tabi shi shagi yorbe
melon tabi shi ke ne kunzo guchu tudang guchu ene tu ke je je long sam de chimbi kapsu namshi yoma pen namshi siya de ngaron chu pen soma je pe konza khona le yore ma to sonje le yoma res sonje pobi tuju le yobi pen chemba na ene shi khona ma to yoma res sonje pobi tuju ji me she to na she to pen gongi number shi ba yoro soma pen shi res ta khoni sonje pobi tuju le chen namshi yoma ta 이시 코나 쳔바는 손제법이 투주 쳔바는 시에미 찹전 되다 이시 코나 겐바
So at the time that mirror-like wisdom realizes all of the phenomena of relative and ultimate truth in a single instant, at that moment there's no consciousness. And the reason is that the consciousnesses, the Buddha's, when there's the wisdom of a Buddha, then there are no consciousnesses. Consciousnesses are only before we have achieved Buddhahood. There is no wisdom at that point. Let me start that over again. So consciousnesses are prior to achieving Buddhahood. When we have the wisdom of a Buddha, then it is only wisdom. There is no consciousness at that time. All of the sensory consciousnesses and so forth have been transformed. So there is no consciousness at when we have achieved Buddhahood, only the wisdom or the knowing of a Buddha. So the mirror-like wisdom is not at the same time as or simultaneous with consciousness.
那刚才的问题呢是问的关于大圆镜智，它是不是跟我们的心识同时的同时具有，或者是有的时候它会藏起来，有的时候会显现。那Khenpo所给予的回答呢是当大圆镜智它在一刹那之间了解一切万法的这种真谛，我们说的世俗跟圣义二谛当中所有的万法的真谛，在一刹那的认知，在这样的这种刹那认知当中呢，它是没有心识的存在的。那从另外一个方面来说呢，也就是心识呢是我们证悟佛果之前所具有的，而当我们证得佛果之后呢，就没有了，完全没有了心识，只是具有完全的智慧。我们说的这个心识也包括我们说的这种感官的识，也就是眼耳鼻舌身意的这样的这些心识呢，就完全的净除了，在证了佛果之后。所以他们智慧跟心识呢，并不是同时的存在。
Sonam de nam ji zi bo ni tok ne ni be ra nam pan je ne je ga na je